In a world overflowing with information, knowing what to trust has never been harder. Dr. Vish, a leading expert in science and public health communication, addressed the growing impact of misinformation about science.
The second open house of the School of Communication and Information.
During the second annual School of Communication and Information Open House on Friday, April 11th, Dr. Vish has delivered a compelling keynote address explaining scientific misinformation. So, what exactly is misinformation?
Misinformation is information that is in variance from accepted scientific facts. And at the time, right? So it is information that is not in correspondence with the facts as we understand at that point in time.
And with social media, that divergence spreads fast. But is it all bad?
So the advantages are, I think the penetration is broad or wide. So many people actively engage with social media, as unlike the electronic media or mainstream media, where people are one-way consumers, right? On the other hand, with social media, you can, at least technically, they are participatory. Exposure to information on social media and engagement with it is influenced by a variety of factors, including what technology companies develop as a form of algorithm.
The usual sentiment is we have to educate people more. No question. We should educate people more. We should not uneducate them, right? That's true.
So, what can we do? Dr. Vish says the answer isn't just personal responsibility, it is systemic change.
We are taking a more systemic approach to accepting and mitigating misinformation than individual approach. We can certainly say individuals could be critical consumers of information, but I don't know what critical consumption means.
But then there's AI, shaping what we see and sometimes creating it from scratch.
I think for those of us in the business of communication and journalism, how does AI affect us? Right, one place could be what are the algorithms providing you with when you are seeking information.
Even for students trying to do their own research, the roadblocks are real.
If you make scientific information behind the paywall, if you make even journalistic information behind the paywall, then you are restricting access to more reliable information, good information. So the probability for a misinformation exposure to spread or widen or broaden is because they are not able to access good information. So if you put good information behind paywalls, then people will look for any information and they get exposed to misinformation.
And what about social media journalists?
Some influencers have a product to sell. If I'm doing a mommy blog and somebody comes to me and says, hey, write about our diapers, and you take money, but you don't tell your users that I took money to promote this particular set of diapers, right? The good news is, unless, there are very few influencers with millions or hundreds of thousands of followers. Most of these people are 25,000, 10,000, 5,000.
It's very difficult to eliminate misinformation. But if you can increase the supply of accurate information, that can potentially drown out misinformation.
At the heart of it all, critical thinking.
Critical thinking is nothing but looking at the sources of information. What are the sources of information? What are the facts? Where do you go to check the facts? How do you interpret numbers? Right? I think that's the way to do this.
Dr. Fish's report with the National Academies dives deep into the origins, the spread, and the solutions to misinformation.
So we are saying it could be done by legitimate and non-legitimate sources can be contribute to misinformation.
His keynote address offered students and faculty insights into the contemporary world, framed through the findings of his study report from 2024.
Should I take my hat off? This is one of the first SCI events that I went to, and I had a lot of fun listening to the different speakers come in. So the presentation was also kind of interesting in itself. It talked a lot about like misinformation and what we can do, I guess, like to stop the spread of it.
Dr. Fish says the war against misinformation isn't won by individuals alone, because knowing is only half the battle. Building systems that support truth is the rest. This is Juri Dagio reporting for Mānoa Mirror.